This is News 12 This Morning on your side.
A big day for so many of us who will have our eyes to the sky. Good morning, 6:29. I'm Meredith Anderson.
It's all things eclipse all day long. I'm Monique Williams. Thanks so much for joining us.
I'm Tim Strong here. A little bit of some cloud cover here. It's just some fog that's taking place. Meanwhile, into the Midlands, down towards the Augusta area. But it's the neighbors down on the coast. Boy, are they going to be entertained by more cloud cover and the chance for showers, unfortunately, here. That radar is definitely getting active, and that easterly flow coming in off the Atlantic is going to be responsible for putting in more cloud cover along areas from Savannah, Georgia, through Charleston, Myrtle Beach, areas along the beaches that will have some view, a good view, but unfortunately it may be covered up by a lot of clouds. Still get dark though down in Charleston. Here this morning we're looking out to a brightening sky, some hazy look over the tree line from our Grovetown live eye camera. Steady traffic flow, temperatures are in the upper 70s. Coming in light to calm are the winds. Out of the east they'll turn 3 to 6 for the afternoon. So temperatures are sitting at 77 degrees here locally and officially out the door for the morning commute. It's a range of middle to upper 70s, some areas mostly sunny to a little bit of light patchy fog here into the Richmond, Burke, and Aiken County areas. Temps will be making the climb into the upper 80s to near 90 before 2 o'clock, but then backing away into the upper 80s. Once we are finished up with the eclipse, between about 4 and 5, we'll get the heat back. So there just may be about a 2 to 4 degree difference at times of the viewing of the eclipse. Nothing that's going to be too strenuous on the body, but again, you'll notice a little bit of a change. We'll have the rest of the forecast for today, a look ahead at the week. More rain potential coming up through Wednesday. We'll get to it coming up in just a little while. Back to you.
Will be affected. Thanks for that, Tim. A couple degrees difference. We'll take all the degrees we can get at this point. Millions of people across the country will have their eyes to the sky today for this historic eclipse, and it will stretch across pretty much the entire U.S.
Yeah, the last time this happened, 1918. The whole trip only expected to last today about 90 minutes total.
In our area, many of us have been looking forward to see this, and it's all happening in about 8.5, 9 hours, somewhere in there.
Yeah, our Tiziana Onset is live now in Columbia, South Carolina, in the heart of 5 Points, with how national interest has already made its way through the Palmetto State. Hey, Tiz.
Good morning, Monique and Meredith. Yes, it's pretty quiet here right now. I'm at the 5 Points Fountains, pretty well known in the Columbia area, but it was definitely not quiet this weekend. It's about to probably start picking up here in the next few hours while people get ready and situated for the solar eclipse this afternoon. Now, a few people I talked to this weekend that flew in and drove in tell me that they came to Columbia to witness the 2-minute phenomenon in the path of totality, but they said they might as well make a whole entire weekend vacation out of it. Hundreds of people from all walks of life fill the downtown streets of Columbia. Many of them here for the food, most of them for the music, but more people than usual are in town for the eclipse.
There are a ton more people there, probably visiting, hey, we're making a weekend trip. We might as well see what Columbia has to offer. So let's go to the farmer's market.
University of South Carolina graduate student Amanda Bohr is a regular at the farmer's market. She says she didn't expect this many out-of-towners, but her job did.
The office is going to be closed, so we don't have to be stuck in the traffic when we're traveling to see patients.
It's a special time in many locals' and visitors' lives, like this couple from Houston, Texas.
Me and him have been together, and it's a first for us. So we're going to celebrate this together.
But people aren't just touching down in South Carolina. So people usually come to Augusta for the Masters, but now people are starting to come for cyber. And for this once-in-a-lifetime experience, they're flying in for this. With this simple sign, I met people like Beverly Gurton, who was here for the eclipse and for family.
When I looked at the path of totality and saw that it was really close, I thought that would be a great opportunity to visit them and see the eclipse.
Gurton works at NASA headquarters in D.C., where it's only 80% totality, and she says she wanted to have the best view for this solar phenomenon.
I'm just very interested in all different aspects of science, and this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, so I wanted to try to make sure I got someplace in the totality.
But whether you're flying in or just walking out your front door,
I think it's worth it for everyone that gets to get here and actually see something that's kind of a once-in-a-lifetime type of opportunity.
Now, Amanda Bohr, that USC grad student, said that she has her glasses ready and she'll probably be heading out to the pool or to the Columbia Zoo here to watch the solar eclipse, since she lives in the area of the path of totality. But she says that she hopes everyone else is safe on the road. And at the zoo, her boyfriend actually works there as well. And we'll have our Liz Owens reporting there this morning and for the rest of the day to show you guys the excitement and craziness going on there.
Lots of excitement, lots of craziness, but it doesn't seem like people are concerned too much. You know, there is a safety aspect to it, but it really looks like people are looking at this as an educational opportunity, a fun opportunity, and an adventure.
Absolutely. They're looking at it as a vacation. They're looking at it as an educational opportunity, like you said. As long as they're prepared and they're planning ahead, that's the best part, to enjoy this 2-minute phenomenon, this solar eclipse that may be once in a lifetime for many of us. So you just have to plan ahead and make sure you're being safe while doing it.
All right, thanks for that, Tiz. Maybe some of us taking it for granted that we are either in the path of totality or so close to it that we don't have to book hotel rooms or go out of town.
Right.
But the visitors who are coming here, they are causing quite the boom in the 2-state. Airbnb says hosts in South Carolina have earned $2 million from the solar eclipse. Numbers show more than 3,000 people are in Charleston for the eclipse. Now, this is just Airbnb. This doesn't count hotel rooms or anything like that.
So in Columbia, there are reportedly 740 eclipse watchers. That means the number of visitors using an Airbnb is up 600% from last week. In Georgia, Airbnb hosts have made around $260,000.
And with more and more people in town, you can expect to see more and more cars on the road. Want to take you out now to the Calhoun Expressway. Look at that. The sun coming up, and all of us are actually waiting for the sun to get covered up later today. Law enforcement says, though, on the roads, watch out, because a lot more cars will be on the road this afternoon, especially around the time of the eclipse, too.
Right, and their biggest piece of advice, stay put when the eclipse hits your area. AAA says you also need to drive with your headlights on. Leave some extra space between your car and the other cars out there, and watch out for people who will undoubtedly be stopped on the side of the road to view the eclipse.
Don't be one of those people if you can at all help it. South Carolina Highway Patrol also reminds you, don't stop on the interstate. Just don't do it. And definitely do not drive with your eclipse glasses on, because you cannot see anything out of these glasses at all, except the tiny little light of the sun. I mean, because that's how thick they are, to make sure that not enough light gets through to harm your eyes.
Absolutely. Well, parents, we are on your side. If you still need to plan something for your kids this afternoon, some schools are letting out early for the eclipse.
Students in both Richmond and McDuffie County schools will be released starting at 11 this morning. Now, if your student rides the bus, we know so many of your kids do, school leaders say they will be home by the time of the eclipse.
Meanwhile, Columbia County and Burke County schools will dismiss later than usual, so your students can watch the eclipse at school. And we've got a full list of what other schools are doing on our website. Just head there, WRDW.com.
And if you are still trying to plan where you will watch the eclipse, we're also on your side with the biggest local events, and there are so many. Augusta University is holding a watch party from 2 to 4 today. It's outside the Maxwell Theater. Columbia County will also have an event at Evanstown Center Park. It starts at 1 o'clock, but listen to this. The first 200 people will get those coveted eclipse glasses that are pretty much impossible to get at this moment.
Yeah, in Aiken County, Camp Gravett will also have a day-long event called the Total Eclipse of the Pines. You can watch the eclipse while swimming, zip lining, and more.
Augusta won't see a full eclipse today, but it will be pretty close. We're talking 99.99%. The biggest point of the event, though, it will be, again, as we mentioned, over 99% totality. Some experts say that means the glowing effect will last even longer for us, though.
Yeah, but if that's not enough, you don't have to go very far to see the full effect. Edgefield will have a total solar eclipse celebration in its courthouse square around noon. And not too far down the road, Mayor Terrence Colbreth and the folks in Johnston are doing it up big. A solar eclipse is planned there too. Their event kicks off at noon. Finally, the Monetta Drive-In, the Big Mo as we all know it, will have a watch party from 10 this morning until 4 this afternoon. It's $15 to get your car in. And if you plan on watching the eclipse from home and want to know exactly when it will come to your neighborhood, you can just head over to our website for an interactive map. It lets you see the eclipse path right down to your street.
So you know exactly when it'll be overhead. We still know a lot of you are still hunting these down, these solar eclipse glasses, so that you can see this once-in-a-lifetime event.
Unfortunately, though, a lot of the stores are pretty much sold out. You still have a chance, though, to get some of these from some of the events happening today. So aside from the ones we just told you about, we're told that the Columbia County Library in Evans is planning to hand out some at 10 this morning. Be prepared, though. Long lines are sure to form.
Yes, some it may have already started at this point. Remember, you cannot take these off. You cannot take these off unless the moon completely covers the sun, and that will not happen at any point in Augusta. You have to be in 100% totality for that to happen.
Yeah, as we said, it will happen in places, though, like Edgefield and Saluda. So if you can't find any of these, it's okay. We've got some other options to tell you about. One of those is a pinhole projector, which you make with a cereal box. You basically cut 2 rectangular holes in the top of the box and put aluminum foil over one of those holes. Poke a small hole in the center of the foil like that, and you can watch the eclipse straight through the box.
It's the reflection that you see. You can also use a few Pringles cans, a strainer, a cheese grater. We've got all that for you on our website. The only thing, though, about these options, you still cannot look directly at the sun. This is a way for you to see it in a reflective way, and we've put all this for you on our website, though. So there are some choices you have if you don't have your glasses.
Yep. And if all else fails, you can always watch the NASA live stream. We've got that for you on our website. We've got a link to it. So be sure to stick with us throughout the day for everything eclipse, live eclipse team coverage all day long.
Yes, we will be all across the area checking out the local watch parties we've been telling you about, even at Columbia County schools, catching it with your kids, Tim.
And that's true. They will be watching. They've got all kinds of things set up and ready to go at school. We're looking out the door, temps in the middle and upper 70s here. Hopping back on the bus. It's kind of a hazy look with clouds and eventually some sunshine, some fog too. Once we get into that afternoon forecast, temperatures, depending on where you are, will be kind of a fluctuation of upper 80s to maybe 90 degrees here. We're around 3 o'clock where that sun will be coming back out from the moon's shadow, and the temperatures will heat back up. But right about the 2 o'clock to 2:42, about the time that it'll be totally covered in those particular areas, we may see a little 2 to 4 degree drop in temperatures here. Morning fog is what we're looking at. The forecast is going to have heat and humidity with it until we get that little break from the moon crossing the sun. We've got a cool down, though, for the weekend, believe it or not. That'll be something to look forward to here. But our solar eclipse forecast, we're hitting about the 90-degree mark by 1 o'clock with a mix of clouds and sunshine. Heat index will be up there around the 100 mark, 100, 102. We'll get the coverage here of the moon moving in front of the sun, may take us down to 88. That's about it. We go rolling to 4 o'clock. By the time that moon is crossing the sun, opening back up again, some more heat that'll be building. Tropics, haven't really mentioned a lot about that this morning, but a quick look at still some areas that we're watching. And one system that's really going to be an impact around the Yucatan again, not a U.S. threat, but one about 40% here that's coming in closer to the Bahamas, just west of the Bahamas, is that one we'll be watching the rest of the week. That third one that's been out there, not really showing signs of development tropically here. So we're starting off mainly clear to partly cloudy. We start to get into that mid-afternoon forecast where some heat is building. Well, we might have some frowny faces down along the Charleston area with the chance for thunderstorms and more cloud cover along the low country here, and even some of our southeastern counties. If you're around Allendale, Bamberg County, down into Screven County, unfortunately, the view may definitely be even more obstructed because of the high cloud tops. And then again, the chance for some scattered showers. Millen, Sylvania, temperatures will be down in the lower to mid 80s here, but mainly from Augusta on northwest. The further inland you are, the less of the cloud obstruction. So we'll be looking at some areas kind of fighting the clouds here, depending on the afternoon forecast, which at times will have a little bit of a cloudy sky. Middle 70s tomorrow morning. Chance of showers and storms tomorrow afternoon, even greater as we move through the heat into the lower 90s again for Tuesday's planner back early into Wednesday morning. We'll consistently have that mid 70s forecast here. Out the door, we're looking at a sky that's brightening up here. Not a bad look over the tree lines. You can definitely see where there's a little bit of fog and haze. 77 degrees here locally. Looking at the temperatures to stay in the low 90s. all the way through about Thursday until we see a cool down happen. 88 degrees by Friday here. So looking at the chance of maybe an isolated storm, not completely out of the question here locally, from 92 to 93 degrees, that 30 to 40% chance of storms going through Wednesday, Thursday, and then our cool down, we'll call it, in the upper 80s Friday through the weekend. 6:42 on the clock.
History means you could cash in on some big deals today. The tastiest eclipse sales after the break.
Looking yummy there here. The weekend forecast just coming off what was a very hot weekend. We may actually see the opposite for once. We're talking about the cool down for the weekend in about 3 minutes.
A lot of road work is scheduled to kick back up tonight on Peach Orchard Road. Crews will be out resurfacing and working on that road from Tobacco Road to Lumpkin. And that work happens from 6 p.m. until 6 a.m. every weekday. The project will wrap up next month.
In Columbia County, one lane will close at the intersection of Chamberlain Road and William Few Parkway. Crews will be doing utility work there from 9 to 3 today. Flaggers will be in the area to wave you through traffic, but it will be hot out there for those workers who are stuck there by the pavement.
Yeah, for most of the week, we're going to be looking at 90s. Here, as we kind of get further into the weekend, we saw just before the break, we're actually going to be getting a cool down. Now, it's not going to be a tremendous drop in highs, but at least it won't be that feel of 100 degrees. We've got a mix of clouds and sunshine Saturday and Sunday, both highs around 88 degrees with that front that'll be coming through there, and not really a great chance for weekend rain. So that'll definitely be a welcome sight right there. Time on the clock, 6:45.
All right, thanks for that, Tim. Some local restaurants are taking advantage of history today.
Absolutely. Denny's is offering all-you-can-eat moon cakes, not moon pies, moon cakes for $4. The company says they are shaped like a full moon, but then again, aren't all pet cakes supposed to be shaped like that? They are.
They're just, hey, you know,
theirs are probably really perfect.
Any way to be creative. Krispy Kreme donuts are going dark today.
That is perfect.
That's right, chocolate. Their glazed donuts have a chocolate glaze. You can pick one up at local stores today.
It's a beautiful sight to see for sure.
Now we're all hungry. 6:48 on the clock. How about you grab some breakfast and meet us back here in 2 minutes. 6:51 on the clock. You're looking at Washington Road at Old Berkman's Road. And if you're paying attention this morning, I'm loving our Eclipse playlist. We have got...
You got me.
You're so busted. That's what happens during traffic cams. We need a Monique cam and a traffic cam, put them up at the same time. Yeah, in case you didn't know it, we're already hours away now from the eclipse, and many of us will be enjoying it in different ways. But what about a selfie? We know a lot of you want to take one.
You got to have that. You'll have a little over 2.5 minutes, all right, to snap those pictures. Our Jason Raven is on your side right now with ways to get that selfie of the century.
That is about the brightness of the full moon right there. Think about why we take cell phone pictures. They're really sort of general shots to remember moments in time that are important.
Moments like a total solar eclipse. The last time there was an eclipse, just like the one coming up next month, was in 1918. Safe to say, no one was posting pictures on their Instagram account. Dr. Nathan Ganisak began looking at ways to make sure you can take a fire picture for social media.
Then I started going outside and experimenting with it based on some of the parameters that I had, and have started to come up with some decent pictures that I think are going to work when the eclipse happens.
It takes practice, Ganisak says. You can use the full moon or even a light inside your home as a model. They are similar to the brightness of the eclipse, but you need to practice for at least an hour up until the 21st.
If you're not committed to taking a picture, if you're not serious about it, then don't do it, because you're going to waste your time fiddling with your camera and you're going to miss the actual eclipse. And what a waste that is.
The key to capturing the perfect selfie of this once-in-a-lifetime event,
the flash brings out my face,
is speed.
Do it quickly. Beginning to end, can I do that in 30 seconds? That's the key. In which case, you can take a picture of the eclipse and you can enjoy it at the same time.
And just to make sure you guys kind of understand this, you're taking this selfie during totality. So it's completely dark, so you don't hurt your lenses, you don't hurt your eyes.
Important to know there. He's hooking us up. because you know you're going to try. So at least now you know how to do it. There are also a few apps that can help you find the perfect viewing spot today. One of them is called Sky View. It lets you adjust the time of day you need. In our case, that's around 2:30-ish. Then point your phone up to the sky. It will show you the exact location of the eclipse.
Listen, there are also several apps by the Smithsonian and also NASA that show you the exact time you'll see the eclipse. One by space.com also has more details on snapping that perfect picture.
Well, that bus stop planter is nice and quiet this morning, mid-70s. A little foggy close to the metro here. We're getting into the afternoon. Watching some clouds and sunshine mixing in here. There's going to be a slight chance as we move back into that 3 p.m. hour where that eclipse is beginning to wrap up further into the 3-4 o'clock hour, where we're going to be back and forth of the upper 80s to near 90 degrees. So it looks like we're going to be in for some heat and humidity before that sun gets covered a bit for a few hours.
Here's a check of the top stories we're following for you right now. Thousands flocking to the Tuesday to get a glimpse of today's historic eclipse. Millions even. Airbnb says hosts in South Carolina have earned at least $2 million this weekend alone.
Some of you are still on the hunt for those eclipse glasses. Your best chances, visit the Columbia County Library today in Evans or make your own projector. You can do that using a cereal box, Pringles can, or a strainer. We've got all that information for you on how to do that on our website.
A lot of people are on the road this afternoon. Expect more than usual. Officials say there are a few things you do need to keep in mind. Do not drive with your solar glasses on. Do not do it. Don't pull over on the interstate to see the eclipse if you can help it, and be sure to give people room in case they get distracted, because this will be the major distraction of the day, Tim.
Oh, yeah. You try them once, you'll know. You can't see until the sun is out. We're looking over at some fog, a little bit of cloud and sun that'll be mixing in. Kind of a nice morning, though. It's muggy. Temperatures are in the mid-70s right now, looking at light to calm winds. As we get into the forecast, when about the time the eclipse is going to be taking place, that 1 to 4 o'clock time span, the temperatures are going to be up there around that 90-degree mark, but actually dropping off in some areas in the upper 80s as we move on through the afternoon. But it's the coast that unfortunately may have to deal with some showers and thunderstorms, and a slight chance here locally with a pop-up storm.
Yep. Ain't going down till the sun comes up. Just when I think we couldn't have thought of any more eclipse songs, there's another.
Thanks for joining us.